A new investigation finds that Moscow is running a large and likely growing spy network just south of the U.S. border. And that same investigation notes that Mexico has so far, done nothing about it. Reportedly, Mexican authorities have declined to remove the Russian spies that the CIA has identified. We'll shine a light on the Kremlin's clandestine activities and look at why Mexico seems unconcerned. Now, during the Cold War, the Soviet Union's KGB built and maintained a very sizable Mexico presence, using Mexico City as a hub for running agents and gathering intel in the U.S. Well, what's old is new again, as the Kremlin has again turned Mexico into one of the hottest spots in the world for Russian intelligence activity. It's a deliberate effort by Moscow to expand its influence in the Western Hemisphere. And according to new reporting from the New York Times, Mexico appears, largely content to let it happen. For years, U.S. officials have warned that Russia has been placing a renewed emphasis on Mexico as a major espionage base. The Times reports that the CIA compiled a list of more than 24 Russian spies operating inside Mexico while posing as diplomats, and they provided that list to senior Mexican government officials. And you may ask yourself, what did those Mexican authorities do with that list? Essentially, nada. Nothing. No expulsions, no public acknowledgement. According to multiple American and Mexican officials who spoke with the Times, the list was either ignored, denied, or, quote, lost somewhere inside the Mexican bureaucracy. And, it's not a new issue. Back in 2022, when a U.S. general testified to Congress that Mexico had once again become a haven for Russian intelligence, Mexico's then-president, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, or AMLO for short, dismissed the claim outright, saying there was no information about Russian spies in his country. But the Times says that wasn't true. He'd been briefed directly, and his top aides had been warned repeatedly. But then again, AMLO always has had a soft spot for communists. So you ask, again, why does this matter? Well, because Mexico's proximity gives Russia something that it can't get anywhere else, and that would be the ability to run intelligence operations against the U.S. from a location that's both convenient and low visibility. U.S. officials say that Russian spies have been using Moscow as a staging ground, arriving from the U.S., meeting handlers and tourist hubs, and conducting operations under the cover of normal travel. After all, a Russian diplomat slipping into a beachfront resort in Cancun looks pretty much like every other foreign traveler, and that, of course, is the point. Russia understands that Mexico's counterintelligence services are stretched thin, dealing with cartels and internal security targets. Foreign espionage isn't their top priority, and that gap has allowed Moscow to move some of its most capable operatives into Mexico City. General Glenn Van Herk, the head of U.S. Northern Command, said during testimony in 2022 to the Senate, quote, "The largest portion of GRU members in the world is in Mexico right now." Now think about that. Russia's biggest overseas concentration of military intelligence officers isn't in Europe or Asia or the Middle East. It's on America's doorstep. The Times also reports that Russia has stepped up disinformation campaigns inside Mexico, targeting public opinion to erode trust in the U.S. and Europe. Those efforts have grown so concerning that the U.S. Embassy in Mexico created its first ever Russia Watcher position. The French then followed suit, appointing a disinformation officer of their own. Meanwhile, Mexico's new president, Claudia Sheinbaum, has maintained the country's traditional policy of neutrality, which in practice means staying friendly with both Washington and Moscow. Even after taking office last fall, her administration didn't move to expel the Russian operatives already inside the country. And while Mexico has condemned the invasion of Ukraine at the UN, it has refused to impose sanctions and has maintained warm public ties with senior Russian officials. As one former CIA officer told the Times, "If you're going to handle and recruit spies, proximity is key, and that's what Mexico offers." End quote. All right, coming up next, Kyiv is finalizing a new peace plan for the White House as President Zelensky rules out territorial concessions, saying that he has, quote, no right to give up Ukrainian land. I'll be right back. Hey, Mike Baker here with a tip on improving your personal finances as the new year approaches. That sounds pretty good, right? Now, here's the thing: you don't need to overhaul your life to start investing. You just need to automate it. With Stash, your New Year money goals can quietly run in the background while you focus on everything else. Stash isn't just another investing app. It's a registered investment advisor that combines automated investing with expert personalized guidance, so you don't have to worry about figuring it out on your own. And look, just $3 per month gets you access to world-class financial advice and personalized guidance, so you can start investing in your future today. Don't let your money just sit around. Put it to work with Stash. Go to get.stash.com/PDB to see how you can receive $25 towards your first stock purchase and a few important disclosures. That's get.stash.com/PDB. Get.stash.com/PDB. This is a paid non-client endorsement, not representative of all clients and not a guarantee. These investment advisory services are offered by Stash Investments, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Investing involves risk. Offer is subject to terms and conditions. Hey, Mike Baker here. Let me take just a moment of your time to tell you about an easy way to try foods from some of the best chefs and restaurants in the U.S. That sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Now, have you ever heard of a company called Goldbelly? That's what I'm talking about here, Goldbelly. It's an amazing site, you got to check it out, that celebrates the best of America by shipping the country's most iconic foods from legendary restaurants straight to your door anywhere in the U.S. Look, I've ordered everything from lobster rolls to ribs to desserts, and it is all delicious, right? Everything arrives in short order and very well packaged. It could not be easier. So if you're looking for that perfect gift for someone on your list, or you just want to impress your friends and family with an unforgettable meal this holiday season, just go to goldbelly.com and get 20% off, by the way, with your first order using promo code PDB. That's goldbelly.com, code PDB, for 20% off your first order. Welcome back to the Afternoon Bulletin. I want to return to what's becoming a bit of a familiar cycle. Ukraine is rushing yet another revised peace plan to the White House, hoping to block any territorial concessions, as President Trump pushes for a path to end the war. And by the way, a path that lately has looked a lot like appeasement to Kyiv and EU allies. Over the weekend, the talks between American and Ukrainian negotiators stretched late but still couldn't produce a version that Kyiv was willing to sign. By Monday, Ukrainian President Zelensky told reporters that his team was pulling together an alternative proposal and that a new draft could be on Trump's desk as early as today. That urgency is what sent Zelensky straight into a whirlwind sweep through London and Brussels. It was an attempt by the Ukrainian president to line up European backing before any peace plan breakthrough that could give the advantage to the Kremlin. After meeting with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, French President Emmanuel Macron, and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz at 10 Downing Street in London, Zelensky kept things deliberately vague, telling reporters that, quote, some issues can only be discussed in person, a comment widely read as Europe trying to get on the same page before Washington makes a push for what could come next. The scene unfolded much as expected. As Zelensky stressed his legal and moral boundaries in London, Trump openly signaled where he believes the holdup in the peace process lies, the Ukrainian president himself. Trump said Moscow was reportedly, quote, fine with the U.S. brokered peace plan. Well, of course they are. It's leaned heavily in their favor. And he added he was, quote, a little disappointed that Zelensky hasn't read it. To be fair, Putin is happy stringing this entire process along, in case you haven't noticed. And, of course, he would naturally be fine with a proposal that gives him a large portion of eastern Ukraine. Again, you can get a peace deal if you give in to Putin's demands. That's pretty straightforward. The Ukrainian president, meanwhile, said he was still awaiting a full briefing from his chief negotiator after days of talks with U.S. counterparts. And if Zelensky's sprint through European capitals makes it appear that the continent is now all on the same page, well, there is still division there, too. The EU has yet to agree on the tools to reach a lasting peace. As we've previously discussed, London and Paris have floated deploying international troops to Ukraine, while Germany and Italy remain skeptical of such a deployment. So even as Zelensky ran to Europe for support, there still isn't a bloc-wide consensus on how to establish an end to the war, all, of course, while the war grinds on. Meanwhile, the UK Prime Minister's office said several EU leaders agree Zelensky's arrival was a, quote, critical moment to escalate support and pursue a, quote, just and lasting peace, which includes robust security guarantees. Though what those guarantees actually look like, well, that remains unsettled. From London, Zelensky then flew to Brussels for meetings with NATO Chief Mark Rutte and EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen before continuing on to Rome. And at every stop, Zelensky repeated the same message. Quote, Russia is insisting that we give up territories, but we don't want to cede anything. We have no legal right to do so under Ukrainian law, our constitution, and international law, end quote. Behind that message is the shifting blueprint itself. Zelensky confirmed that the original U.S. drafted 28-point peace plan, later revised to 19, now stands at 20 points via Kyiv's latest edit. He insisted that no, quote, pro-Ukrainian elements have been removed from the deal, which means that, of course, in all likelihood, Putin will have no interest in agreeing to the newish proposal. The Kremlin, they haven't budged from their long-standing demands, and at this stage it appears that the only agreement that Putin will sign up to would be one that meets those demands. He's instructed the Russian military to prepare for winter warfare, and that doesn't sound like the words of someone seeking peace. And that, my friends, is the PDB Afternoon Bulletin for Tuesday, the 9th of December. Now, if you have any questions or comments, please reach out to me at pdb@thefirsttv.com. And, of course, if you'd like to listen to the show ad-free, well, you can do that, and it's very simple. Just become a premium member of the President's Daily Brief by visiting pdbpremium.com. I'm Mike Baker, and I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, stay informed, stay safe, stay cool. Hey, Mike Baker here. Now, PDB listeners know that I'm constantly traveling, so I think I've become a bit of an expert on airports and of course, on luggage. And I want to tell you about a great company out there designing and selling incredible luggage. They're called Noble Travel. That's N-O-B-L, Noble Travel. So let me give you a scenario. Picture this, if you will. You're in the line at airport security. Oh, that sounds fun. Coffee is sloshing in the cup in your hand. Phone is dying. You're running out of juice. You're digging for your laptop to put it in the X-ray bin there at TSA, while the folks in line behind you, well, you know what they're doing. They're getting increasingly annoyed. After all, standard luggage is essentially just a box on wheels. And think about how often regular rollerboards and suitcases break, right? Wheels break, zippers break. Enter the Noble all-in-one carry-on. That's what I'm talking about here. Listen to this. It's got a flip-out cup holder to keep your drink secure. How smart is that? There's a built-in charger, which means your phone never dies. You got a front laptop pocket that's easy access for TSA. You got 360-degree wheels that glide like a dream. And, listen to this, no zippers. There's zero zippers to fumble or break. It uses secure latches that shut with ease and are great for security. It looks sharp, and it is built to survive a war zone. It's incredible. Noble's the #1 rated luggage on Trustpilot with a lifetime warranty, and listen to this, a 100-day return policy. Right now, they're also running their biggest sale ever, right, in time for the holiday season, up to 58% off site-wide. 58%. Hit nobletravel.com. Again, that's N-O-B-L, nobletravel.com, before they sell out. And when you check out, they'll ask how you heard about Noble. Do me a favor. Tell them the PDB sent you.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment, a really positive, nice, and kind comment. That would be appreciated. And if you're not already subscribed to our channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our daily updates.